I'm Chanale, and this is the Weekly Squeeze on Moral Edge. All right, I think about this a lot. Here and there, usually at more tragic times, unfortunately, our community has an amazing, absolutely extraordinary, world-class way of showing up after something goes wrong. So someone gets sick, the community is amazing. They materialize out of nowhere, and there's meal trains and rides to the hospitals and money's arranged, and people you haven't spoken to for years, if somebody gets sick, they're at your door with a kugel before Shabbos. It's really remarkable. And I'm saying that without any sarcasm because I've been on the receiving end of it. And it's one of those things that makes me genuinely proud to be part of the Jewish world. But here's the thing that bothers me. It's been bothering me for a while from a personal experience. We're incredibly good at the aftermath, but we're not so good at the before, the prevention. And I'm not just making a light observation. I mean it as something with real consequences because the gap between those two things, between how much we invest in crisis and how little we invest in prevention, it's showing up in people's lives in ways that are hard to ignore if you're paying attention. My guest today is Mendel Krashinsky.
Yeah.
I said it right, great. And his story is the perfect illustration of exactly that gap. He grew up in Ukraine. He was a semi-professional hockey player. I thought you'd be bigger. We'll talk about that, which is already a more interesting backstory than most people I know. And by most external measures, he had a pretty good life going. And then he watched his father die at 38 years old from a disease that did not have to kill him. And he was there when it happened. I think that when something like this hits you at close range, and it's not just like a statistic or someone else's story, but your own father, it either breaks you or it completely changes you, reorganizes you completely. And for Mendel, it eventually did both. Because years later, he found himself 70 pounds overweight, dealing with chronic acid reflux, sitting in the doctor's office and getting handed a prescription with basically zero conversation about how he was actually living his life. No, what are you eating? How are you sleeping? What's going on? Just here's a pill, good luck. And the front desk will validate your parking. And I think that's when, that was the second moment that he was failed by the system. And then something clicked. So Mendel built something. He built a health and wellness community that started as a WhatsApp group and has now grown into a podcast, a social media presence, programs he's developing for yeshivas and schools, and a 10,000 step challenge that I personally find inspiring and guilt-inducing. Maybe I'll get involved. And the whole thing runs on one idea that honestly should not even be so countercultural. Health is not a secular preoccupation. Taking care of the body you've been given is not somehow in conflict with the life that you're trying to build. It's actually the foundation to it. That's where we're going to start today. Let's get into it. Mendel, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chanale, for inviting me.
My pleasure. I read a lot about what you're doing, and we haven't really discussed health, wellness, fitness, and the connection that has to the Jewish people, to the importance it has in our lives, in the way that we function. And, if your car is running great, you get to where you need to be on time, and everybody has a happy afternoon. So let's start from that. But first, the personal story.
Yeah.
What brought you into the world of fitness? And you, my friend, who looks like a pretty stereotypical Lubavitch chassid here in Israel, a Ukrainian Anglo. What's your story?
So I was born in the US, in Los Angeles. My parents both are from Ukraine. They studied in England, so I lived a little bit in England while they were doing that, right from my birth until like 4 years old. Then we moved to Ukraine, and we moved back to the US, and my parents got divorced. I grew up in Los Angeles in a secular family. We knew we were Jewish. We never really practiced anything Jewish, but we always knew that we were Jewish. At around 13 years old, I was supposed to have a reform bar mitzvah, but later on, because I was flying to Ukraine to visit my father, they only had a Chabad house there, so it ended up being a
Chabad bar mitzvah?
Chabad bar mitzvah.
That's
Yeah,
when you were inducted into the Chabad lifestyle.
Basically, yeah. And then when I came back to Los Angeles, I felt like I wanted to start put on tefillin, and I met with a rabbi there who later became my mashpia, who is now still my mashpia.
I just want to tell my audience watching that Mendel is a Chabad chassid. So the philosophy of Chabad Hasidism is to reach out to the Jew that's lost and bring them closer.
Exactly.
So a reminder that some of the people watching don't know these words like mashpia and rabbi, so we have to be very clear and translate them.
Okay, yeah. So mashpia is like a spiritual mentor. Yeah. So I came to his house. It was the first ever like Frum person's house that I've ever been to, and something like really clicked there. I really fell in love with the idea of just Yiddishkeit, Judaism.
So you were a secular American Jew, Ukrainian background.
Yeah.
And you end up in a Chabad house.
Yeah.
And it just made sense the second you walked through the door.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely felt something different there that I've never seen in my life. And I didn't have a Hebrew name at that time. My mom gave me the secular name
What's your name?
Maxim.
Maxim, very Ukrainian.
Very Ukrainian, yeah.
You don't strike me as a Maxim, though. Much more a Mendel, but okay.
Yeah, and so I told the rabbi, I was like, I really want a Hebrew name. And he told me that the Lubavitcher Rebbe, he would always recommend for people that are becoming Baal Teshuvas or maybe converting or whatever, to have a very similar name to their secular name.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, Maxim starts with a mem and ends with a mem. Do you like Menachem? I told him that's the first time I'm hearing this name. Yeah, I didn't even know that name.
Did you realize it was the Rebbe's name?
I didn't know anything at that time yet. I didn't know. I mean, I maybe saw a picture of the Rebbe. I didn't know much of the Rebbe.
Menachem is a mouthful.
So he said, do you like Menachem Mendel? I said, Rabbi, I trust you. I really like you. If you think it's good, it's good. Okay. So next, he told me I should go to a shul that was next to my house. The next Shabbos, I went there.
Synagogue?
Yeah.
Okay.
The synagogue, yeah. And they called me up to the Torah. They gave me the name. And 2 weeks later, I didn't tell anyone about this, that I got this name, whatever, because my family was like very skeptical about this whole
religious shift.
Yeah. So I didn't tell anyone. And my great-grandmother, who's a Holocaust survivor, this is from my mom's side, she tells me, out of nowhere, we're talking, she tells me, did you know that my grandfather, she's saying her grandfather, so my great-great-great-grandfather, was a Hasidic Jew. He was the last religious person in our family, and his name was Menachem Mendel.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Well, if that's not meant to be,
exactly.
This is your roots.
Exactly. So after that, I mean, I didn't become right from there. It was like a whole process that
until you became the religious, very religious Jew that you are today.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're thank God you're married. You're living in Israel.
Yes.
Take us from the trauma.
Yeah.
Of losing your father at a young age.
Yeah, definitely.
And how that affected you physically, and then we'll continue into your mental and emotional journey.
Yeah, 100%. So the whole situation that happened with my father and just his life in general, it taught me so much about life, because I'll just give some context about what type of life.
What happened.
Yeah, of course. So he was a very, very successful entrepreneur. He was what in people in Ukraine call an oligarch, like ultra wealthy. And
now things are getting interesting.
Yeah. So he had literally everything a person can dream of. Luxury cars, he had Ferraris, G-Wagons, the like watches for $200,000, like living a very luxurious life. But unfortunately, he never prioritized his health. And so when he was 38 years old, we went together to a trip to Italy. It was a beautiful trip. We went to different islands and we were in Capri, and it was like incredible. We come back to Ukraine 2 days later, and he was like obese. And
was he a good dad?
Yeah, he was a great dad. Yeah, he was definitely a great dad.
Was he hands-on?
I mean, my parents were divorced. I was living in the States. My dad was living in Ukraine. So he had a second wife already.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, he wasn't so much a part of your life, but let's say physically. Was it a problem for him to be active? You said you guys went on vacation. His weight got in the way? I
mean, yeah, of course.
And we see that, by the way, all the time. And this is one of the reasons that so many people hit rock bottom. They'll continue a certain lifestyle and accept that, okay, this is my body, this is my physique, this is my choices. And then when it comes to spending time with their children and their loved ones, the limitations that the weight and ends up the restrictions it puts on them, that's what kind of makes them want to do the change. So I'm asking if your father kind of was physically limited.
Yeah, no, he was definitely physically limited, and he had ideas of going to the gym, but it never like really realized, unfortunately. But yeah, even it was crazy. 2 days before he passed away, he was already not feeling well. And this was right after this trip. And I was telling him, Dad, that's it. Like, we need to get you a personal trainer. We need you to start taking your health seriously, because this is like not normal. You're going to hospital all the time. You're sick.
How old were you?
I was 18.
And you were in what kind of shape?
I was actually not in bad shape. Like, I was, because I played semi-professional hockey back in the US before I became religious. So I was in pretty good shape. But yeah, and then 2 days later, he passes away. He had an acute pancreatitis, which is like very, very like scary and can really kill a person within a couple of days. And I watched it all, unfold literally on my eyes. Like, he passed away, and it was really, really traumatic.
When you say you watched it unfold, you were living with him at the time?
So I wasn't living with him, but we were coming back from a trip together to Italy. I actually flew from Los Angeles to Italy, and I was with him there. And then it was crazy because the whole idea was like very spontaneous. I wasn't even supposed to be in Ukraine at that time. So the fact that I was there, I was like,
extra days with your father?
I'm very grateful that I did.
And then how did you know something was wrong?
Well, he said like, I'm not feeling well, and we actually had like a bunch of people that time at our house. He invited like a bunch of people. He would always do these like big parties, and yeah, he's like, I'm not feeling well. I have to like go lay down. And so we called the ambulance, went to the hospital. I went to the hospital with him, was there for 2 days, and then unfortunately passed away at 38 years old.
And where did that leave you?
I mean, just completely broken, completely.
He came out of nowhere? You thought he would be in your life for many years?
Of course. Although, I mean, of course, I saw that he wasn't unhealthy and he was obese. I mean, you never think that a person can pass away just in 2 days. It's insane. So definitely, I fell into a depression.
You don't have time to say goodbye. You don't have time for closure, wrap things up.
Exactly. It just happens in 2 days, and yeah, it was a very, very difficult part of my life. Definitely the most difficult time in my life. And yeah, and that led to me getting an addiction to food. My escape was food. Whenever I would feel stress, I would eat and eat and eat, and it got to a point.
Tell us. We want detail. What did you eat?
I mean, everything.
Okay,
pizza,
fair.
sushi.
You know that there's a culture now online where people, they're called or foodies or baddies, they or fatties. They
I've seen that. Yeah.
They say, this is what I eat every day.
Yeah,
and people watch it, or moobangers or whatever they're called.
Yeah.
And you watch people eat themselves to death.
Yeah.
So that's one extreme version of food addiction. Then you have the food addiction where people are binging and purging. You have anorexia. Unfortunately, these are all issues that are prevalent in modern society, but in the religious communities amongst our children as well. And things that we don't talk about so much. So your father dies, you start eating. Food addiction, as I was saying, it's a big issue in our communities. How did you know that you had a problem?
So this was also before I became religious, and my wife and I we became religious together later on in life. But we were already living together, and I got to a point where I was 70 pounds overweight. It was difficult for me to just do a little run. Like, I couldn't run, I couldn't do any of those things. And it's just like every time I would feel stress, that's it. Automatically, I would get like 2 pizzas and just eat it, and that helps obviously for like 20 minutes. And
Did you feel? Women feel a tremendous sense of shame because so much of our self-esteem is tied into how we look and how we feel. Did you feel that same pressure almost? Like, if you would eat a pie of pizza, would you go to sleep hating yourself, or were you just like, I'm a dude, I'm big?
No, I never thought about it that way. I would just eat it, like enjoying it, and really just, that was the way how my stress would, relieve itself.
And then you're thinking, and then not thinking, and then I'm watching as a fly in the wall. You're literally doing the same thing your father did.
Exactly. But I was like, I went through so much stress and trauma during those days when my father passed away. It was like, this was the way that I was coping. Again, like, there's much more healthier ways that you can cope with grief, obviously. But that was my choice, and that's what I did. Up until I got to a point where I was also feeling a lot of pain in my stomach, similar to like what my father had. And this was already when we were already starting to become religious with my wife, and this was right after Shabbos. And I wasn't feeling well. And I told my wife, I was like, I feel like this is like something serious. Like I'm not feeling well.
By the way, I hate when spouses do that, especially when it's their fault. Because of course you're supposed to take care of your loved one. But when you have a spouse that you know is not taking care of their health and smoking and overweight and then like clutching their chest every Friday, it's like, well, I told you to go to take care of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm sure your wife was frustrated.
I mean, I have an amazing wife. She's like very, very supportive. And she, like, I honestly, I look back at these pictures, I was like, wow, like
she really loves me.
Really, really love me because I was like really a mess. But yeah, Baruch Hashem. But yeah, I was at a point where like I was getting a lot of pain, and I told her I'm going to a doctor. So I went to a doctor. It's funny because he's actually a religious doctor. I'm not going to say his name. Obviously, I don't want to say gossip about him. But yeah, it's like. Some nurses of his came quickly, asked me a couple questions. Check your blood. Yeah. And then he comes in like rushed, 2 minutes. He's there like for 2 minutes. He's like, yeah, this is what you have. You have GERD. You have problem with acid reflux and you just have to take these pills. And I'm sitting there like, okay.
What did you think he was going to say?
I mean, I was hoping for him to kind of like connect to, you know, as a person, like, oh, like, you know, to show me that he actually cares that I'm trying to heal.
Why would that matter medically? What did you think he was going to do for you in that moment?
I don't know. I felt like he would help me more than just tell me, oh, here's the pills.
I think subconsciously you knew that you weren't looking for a remedy. You were looking for a solution. You weren't looking for a medication. You were looking for a doctor to look at you and say, my diagnosis is that you're abusing your body. Stop abusing your body, and then you won't be here and eating pills.
Yeah, exactly. Because he didn't ask me like if I'm exercising, what I'm eating. He didn't say anything. Like I could have continued doing whatever I was doing. Just take the pill and you'll be fine.
I want to know why doctors. Yeah. And we've discussed this, and I know some of the reasons. Obviously, Western medicine and pharmaceutical companies, and just lack of information, unfortunately, and I'll just. It's enlightenment, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of the Rambam's diet is a lot about prevention and a lot of things that we need to do is kind of go back to the basics.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah. And unfortunately with doctors, conventional doctors, they are usually like they're trained and they study on organ-based systems and organ-based, you know, they give diagnostics based on the organ. So for example, a doctor that's focused on the stomach is not going to be looking at the whole picture. He's going to be looking just at the stomach. And so he's going to give you a pill for the stomach. But you may have issues with other, you know, parts of your body that is causing that. So there's doctors that are called functional medicine doctors, and they actually try to find out the root cause of your issue. So they're not just going to prescribe you a pill that is going to just solve your symptoms. They're actually going to try to find the root cause. So that's really beautiful. There's a lot of doctors like that, but unfortunately, there's also a lot in the conventional medicine, you know, system that. You're just, you know, ticking the to-do box.
Let's play devil's advocate for a second because, you know, a person comes into your office and they're clearly overweight. Their chest is hurting. They don't want to hear go on a diet. They want to hear, well, if you take this medication, it'll reduce the acid and you'll be able to sleep tonight. Yeah. So the doctor is doing his job, and his job is to make you feel better. You want to feel better? This will make you feel better the fastest. Yeah. You want to be real with yourself? You're going to need, it's going to take 6 months until you could, you know, go to sleep without indigestion.
Yeah.
But people don't want to hear it because then they'll get all insulted. You're calling me fat? You calling me fat, doc?
Yeah.
So I think there's people need to look in the mirror.
100%. Yeah. And people want the easy route usually. They want the short fix or the quick fix. Yeah. So after that, like after him telling me to take these pills, I started taking them and I started feeling worse. Like it didn't get better. And so I realized, okay, this can't be the way. Like this is not the as you mentioned, like I was doing exactly what my father was basically doing, not taking care of my health. So I did research on Google. This was before ChatGPT. And I researched if there is a place in the world where people live healthy lives up until 100 and more. And I was interested, like what I can find. So I found this book called The Blue Zones. And The Blue Zones is, have you heard of The Blue Zones?
No, but I know what you're referring to. It's in West Asia?
No.
Oh, so then I have no idea.
Okay, no problem. So basically, the book The Blue Zones it was this huge case study done by National Geographic and this author, Dan Buettner. And there are different pockets throughout the world one in Greece, Italy, Japan, one is actually in California, where they did these like studies, and they see that people that live there are living incredibly healthy lives up until 100 years old. They're not suffering from what majority of people are suffering in the world.
They're not obese. They're not missing their teeth.
Yeah,
they're working.
Exactly. And up until like 100.
They're agile. They're mentally there.
Exactly. And so he wrote a whole book about this, and it talks about their diet. It talks about, what's interesting about them, they also have, they're all connected to some type of religion. So that's a big part of it, community religion. But
to connection, right?
Yeah.
To something greater than them.
Yeah, something greater than them. And of course, diet and exercise was a huge part. So I decided to basically kind of copy exactly what they were doing to my life. I bought this book.
I'm trying to put it. You're Mendel Lubavitcher. So go on.
So yeah.
How are you gonna make this happen?
So this is like probably like a year after we became religious. So we're just like pretty new into this whole
we're
system.
Going to become religious. Now we're going to become health nuts. Your wife is like, okay, I'm here for the ride.
Yeah, exactly. And so we bought this book called The Blue Zones Cookbook, and we would just start to like cook everything from there. And I started to exercise, and just really step by step. It was a process. It obviously doesn't happen in one day. It was probably like 2 years until I really got like transformed my health. But Baruch Hashem, now I don't have any of those symptoms. I'm feeling great. And Baruch Hashem, very healthy.
No, I see that you have nice white teeth. Also, do you do coconut pulling?
Coconut pulling?
Coconut oil, where you pull coconut oil for half an hour in your mouth.
I haven't heard about that.
Okay, well, let me tell you.
Okay.
Coconut oil is a great inflammatory and antibacterial, and it's really healing for gum disease, and it whitens teeth and fresh breath. So you can swirl coconut oil in your mouth twice a day for 20 minutes.
Nice.
Thank me later. And you'll have good breath. Okay, so let's get to what people actually care about. That's like what really matters when it comes to my health, and how do I get things under control? Because we're in an era that people are taking Ozempic. We're in an era where people are more materialistic than ever, and looks matter. They matter. It makes a difference how people treat you. It makes a difference how you feel, how you conduct yourself. But for some reason, not all of us can tackle the addictions, and food is a serious addiction. I mean, sugar. So where is your health journey now, and how have you paid it forward?
Yeah.
And how can you help others?
Yeah, definitely. So as I mentioned before, like when I was overweight, I couldn't run, I couldn't do exercises like normally. Now I regularly like run half marathons. I do half marathons with a double stroller with like both of my kids, and like Baruch Hashem, I'm doing things that I would never ever even imagine me doing when I was 70 pounds overweight. So I'm exercising six times a week, eating food that is real food, not ultra processed food.
Like, give us examples, especially here in Israel, because the food. Let's talk about that. So I would say here in Israel, the vegetables have less pesticides. We have stickers that tell us how much sugar is in the food, how much salt is in the food. But I wouldn't suggest like Israel has the healthiest mentality when it comes to food.
Yeah.
For example, our children drink iced coffee and flavored food coloring slushies on the way to school, and alcohol, and cigarettes start young here. So what does that tell us about what we are teaching our young people about health? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, 100%. So I believe that majority of the Frum world has forgotten that we have a very powerful mitzvah from the Torah.
A commandment.
Which says, "V'nishmartem meod lenafshechem." You should guard yourselves very carefully.
V'nishmartem meod et lenafshotechem.
Yeah.
Meod,
exactly.
Guard your souls very much. Lenafshotechem is your nefesh.
Yeah, but it could also
yourself.
mean yourself.
Okay.
Yourself. Yeah. So, right from the Torah, we have a directive that we should guard ourselves very, very carefully, and the Rambam speaks about this. The Maimonides speaks about this many, many times, how a person that is ill cannot serve Hashem properly, how a person should avoid things that bring danger to his body, like eating the wrong foods. And this was all said by the Rambam like over 800 years ago.
There's the Rambam diet, Maimonides diet.
Yeah.
And he prescribes not drinking water during meals, when to eat as far as when you wake up and go to sleep. So health and the way you eat is like everything else, completely prescribed in the Jewish way of life.
The Rambam,
it's not skipped over.
Yeah, the Rambam literally says in Hilchos Deis that a person should start his morning with exercise and with sweating. It's incredible. So, but when something is important, there's also the Yetzer Hara, the evil inclination in a person. It's gonna also really try to get you to not to do it, and that's why it's so difficult for a lot of people. That's how I see it. But a huge part of it is, as you mentioned, like here in Israel, like kids are drinking these drinks and all of these sugary things. It's also really important to lead by example for parents. Your kids, if they see you eating junk, they're going to eat junk. If it's in the house, they're going to eat junk. So a rule that I kind of like suggest people when they ask me, how do I get my kids not to eat, ultra processed food? Don't buy it. If it's not in the house, okay. If they don't have it, okay.
Back up. Okay. Yeah. My 11-year-old son thinks he's allergic to fruits and vegetables. I can assure you he is not. You are not allergic to fruits and vegetables. Now, he has a revulsion to healthy food. Okay. The child cannot put a banana into his mouth and he will literally vomit, and he has. Not a grape, nothing. Mm-hmm. Smoothies, nothing. Broth, maybe. If I don't have those crackers and pretzels and what I eat, listen, healthy snacks, I would even say, the kid is not going to eat anything else. For some parents, telling them, don't have cereal in the house, your kid's not eating chicken. What do you say to that? Okay, so
that's a very good point, 100%. To be honest with you, my kids are all under like 4, so it's like probably easier than in your situation and many people that have older kids. But I would say you could always try to get more creative. Like, for example, we make like cakes from no sugar and from dates and bananas and things like that. And my kids, they're not eating bananas and dates. They're eating a cake, but it has banana and dates. And obviously they're also eating like bananas and dates, whatever. But yeah, I think like you could always try to get like more creative. Like,
sure. I mean, there's cookbooks on making purees and all those things and hiding ingredients in food,
but it's not easy. I agree.
It's not easy, especially in this generation. Like I said, when the kids will say they have their own money, they'll go to the bakery, they'll buy what they want, and that's
100%, 100%. But I do think it's important that parents teach their kids from a young age the importance, and that it's literally like a directive from the Torah that we need to guard ourselves. Like
So let me ask you, if you're a religious Jew, if you're a Jew and you have a kid that is either, let's say, abusing food, abusing exercise, not taking care of themselves, smoking, drinking a lot of alcohol, which is unhealthy, bad for your skin, exercising too much or too little or whatever it is, you could literally say, listen, as Jewish people, your body is important. It's your vessel. It's your tool. It's your vehicle in this world.
Exactly.
And if you're going to abuse it, you're telling God, I don't care about this vessel. It doesn't even matter. And you're sabotaging yourself, because most of the things that we do as Jews do take energy, do take structure, do take physical and mental clarity.
Yeah.
So for me, it's all very intertwined. Yeah. But at the same time, we don't grow up teaching our children in schools much about nutrition, I would say, let's say, compared to the Chinese. Mm-hmm. You look at the Chinese lunches, the Chinese fast food school lunches, and the American school lunches, and you're like, world, of course our kids are obese.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a crazy statistic that 60 to 70% of what American kids eat comes from ultra-processed foods. That's crazy.
Processed foods.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there was, you actually had him on the podcast, Rabbi Akiva Gersh. So he was on our podcast as well.
Listen to that episode, The Vegan Rabbi.
The Vegan Rabbi, yeah. And so he was sharing about, his journey and everything. And a lot of people, especially in the Frum world, not just in the Frum world, but in general, but especially in the Frum world, think that veganism is like bizarre, extreme, radical. But why did we normalize that kids are constantly eating ultra processed foods? That's normal. Being vegan is not normal. I'm not vegan, by the way, but being vegan is not normal. But ultra processed foods for your kids all day is normal.
You're like, okay, so you're saying it's freaky to eat too much lettuce, but your kid is eating food coloring, which is literally, we don't even know what, toxic, bad for kids with ADHD, messes with their brain, messes with their psyche.
Exactly.
But Israelis and Jews in general, we're big noshers. We do. Food is a huge part of our life.
Of course, yeah.
So you go, the birthday parties, the Shabbat parties, the weddings, every single weekend. We have Thanksgiving every single week. Every single weekend. There's like a guest full. Kugels, the overeating, the challah, the white bread. And, sure, you could be vegan and crunchy munchy and all those things, but Shabbos needs challah and matzah balls. And,
Yeah.
So on the one hand, we have this responsibility to take care of ourselves. On the other hand, we have a culture that's obsessed with food.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And the best way to tackle that is to get enough exercise. And the Rambam actually talks about it, that obviously a person shouldn't choose if it's diet or exercise. But the Rambam says that if you're exercising, you can even eat bad foods. That's what the Rambam says. Obviously, you shouldn't eat bad.
It takes precedence over
100%.
Your diet.
100%. Yeah.
My mother always says you can't outrun your diet.
That's not true, but that's true.
Well, you could if you run 13 kilometers,
Sorry, what was that you said?
She says you can't outrun your diet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm going to push back and say, well, I guess the question, if the Rambam says that exercise is the most important thing, okay, so that's what's going to get your engine moving, perhaps that a person who exercises and takes care of their body will eat the right thing so that they could continue to exercise. You're not going to eat sugary foods and feel like yucky on your walk.
Exactly. And that's something that happened to me. Like sugar was a big part of my life. Like I would always eat things that are sweet and I always enjoyed it. And then I started running like longer distances. And something just changed and I just stopped wanting them. And I used to have the worst migraines, like the worst. Every week they were just nonstop. And when I started running, I actually don't know which one did it because I did at the same time. I started running and no added sugar. And yeah, the migraines like just disappeared, literally disappeared.
So here you are living in Israel, which by the way, you didn't explain to me why you made Aliyah and what you're actually doing here to continue this health journey. I want to hear.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at you now. So here you are, you're in peak physical shape. You and your wife keep a really clean diet. Your kids are eating healthy.
Yeah.
What are the challenges? And are you concerned that your kids will get older and say like, yeah, that was fun, your date banana cake, but I'm going to get a shawarma?
I mean, I do worry about that. Obviously, like every parent worries about their kids, but I hope that like by leading by example and by really educating them on the importance of it. And I actually like my kids are like 3-4 years old. I talk to them about insulin. I talk to them about, the pancreas, like what's going on, like the blood, like what's happening when you're eating sugar. And again, I'm not making it scary. Like I don't want to get them like scared, but I do it like in a cute way, like with cartoons from ChatGPT. You could get very creative nowadays. So yeah, I think like educating your kids and really showing them like, okay, let's look at this candy. Like, what's in here? Let's check it out.
I tell my son, I'm like, it's chemicals. I showed him these AI videos where you see Cheetos, the Cheeto monster comes out and it's dripping with cheese. He's like, I don't care. Give me the Cheetos. Diet Coke is going to decay your bones and your teeth. I don't care. They don't care.
Yeah.
It's really, really tricky.
It's tricky.
But and this is going to bring me back to what I was saying in the intro. We as a community have a responsibility to teach health and wellness to our children.
Yeah.
Why? Because what happens is your father was an oligarch and didn't need anything from anybody. But in our communities, we're not all set up like that. So we have nebach, children losing parents who have issues that could have been prevented by better medicine, not better medicine, by less medicine and more healthy lifestyle. And then the community has to start collecting money.
Exactly.
To take care of this family. And that's when it gets personal. And you can't help but thinking, well, maybe if the guy had lost 100 pounds, we wouldn't all have to be pitching in for this.
That's exactly why we created the Frum Health Club.
The Frum Health Club.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, the Frum Health Club.
Link in the show notes.
So yeah, for years, as I mentioned, like after I became religious, when you're about tshuva, you look at the Frum world and everything looks like from the outside looks perfect. Everything looks perfect. And you're like, okay, I'm entering this perfect world.
It is perfect. Okay. We're spilling the juice. Yeah.
So of course it's beautiful. It's incredible. A religious lifestyle is amazing. But when you become religious, you start to understand from people are also people. We all have issues. We all have problems. It's like we're regular people, but we're from.
We're religious. We're observant.
Religious, observant.
We keep the 613 mitzvos as much as we can. The commandments from God.
Yeah. Exactly. And so as I was becoming religious, I started to realize that the same things that I was seeing happening with my father are happening in the religious world as well. People getting very sick from preventable disease, people passing away very, very young. And every single time I saw those posts going around, like to fundraise, it would just break my heart to see that, because I felt that grief already with my father, and I know what people are going through. So for years, I was thinking, like, I need to do something. And a friend of mine, Yosef Fisher, and I, we were talking about this for years. And then 1 year ago, on Yud Aleph Nisan,
on the
Rebbe's birthday,
Lubavitcher Rebbe's
the Lubavitcher Rebbe's birthday, I decided that that's it. I'm starting a WhatsApp group. And I started a WhatsApp group. It was just me, Yosef, and like 2 other people. And Baruch Hashem, within this last year, it has grown to really a movement. It's impacted and inspired thousands.
For religious Jewish men?
This is for religious Jewish men. And right now we're doing...
and what is in this chat? I'm concerned. What's in this chat?
So in this chat, Baruch Hashem, now there's almost 600 people. And we post workouts, we post nutrition advice, we post our podcast there, we post like encouragement, accountability, different challenges that we're doing. We're now about to do an amazing 10,000 step challenge where the grand prize is actually a Rolex.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, so
it's for men and women, actually, the challenge. It's a 10,000 step challenge for men and women.
What do you have to do?
You start at 6,000 steps every day, and you build up by...
I don't want to build up. I just want the Rolex. So I just do 10,000 steps?
10,000 steps a day for 30 days.
And then how do you choose a winner?
It's there's like a point structure.
How do you know I did it?
We have a platform where you have to show your screenshots and things like that. Yeah, it's all legit.
I wonder how much I walk, because I walk my dog a lot.
Okay, yeah, you can check on your health app. It's starting May 17th.
May 17th. Okay, so before May 17th, you can join the 10,000 step challenge for Jewish men and women anywhere in the world.
Anywhere in the world.
Who want to commit to walking 10,000 steps to increase their health.
Exactly.
To make themselves to feel better.
Yeah.
And to make a better choice. 10,000 steps towards their...
Exactly. And we chose 10,000 steps because, people overcomplicate right now. There's so much advice online about health, about this diet, this workout. But as you mentioned, we need to get back to the basics. We are living right now in such a sedentary lifestyle. Like, it's become the norm to sit for 8 to 12 hours a day, So, and there was a crazy study done that on a yearly basis, more people die from inactivity than from smoking.
Wow, that's brutal.
It's insane. Literally from inactivity.
That means that like the blue collar workforce is killing more people than Marlboro.
Basically, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's really insane. So that's why we decided to make it easy, like make something where you can actually, walking. We learned it when we were babies, and just unfortunately, the average American gets, I think, like 4,000 to 5,000 steps a day.
A year.
No, 4,000 to 5,000 steps
a year.
Depends on which American.
A week, yeah.
Maybe
but I
those
hear
who are making
you.
those TikTok
Israelis
videos,
walk much more because we are people of the earth. We don't all love cars. It's good weather here, and that's why most Israelis are not overweight.
Yeah, it's true.
So
people live longer here.
I love the 10,000 step challenge. I love that you took your life in your own hands, and that you are now literally influencing people and changing people's lives, because you don't know from those 600 people which one of those dads is managing their weight, knowing that there's other guys who are rooting for him.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a very supportive community. We're all supporting each other no matter like at what level you are. And it's really been beautiful. Like, just for example, there's a rabbi in Los Angeles. He has 10 kids, never exercised. He joined the group. Now he's running 10Ks. He's exercising. It's incredible. It's so inspirational to see. And as I mentioned to you before the podcast, that when I started the group, there was pushback from people in my community, friends. They were saying like, oh, what are you trying to do? This is part of the culture. Like, you're not going to change it. And I told them, if this impacts and saves just one person, it's all worth it.
I love that. I got the chills. That's great. All right, let's do our speed round. Okay. I think there's just a bunch of things that people want to know. Let's make this as quick as possible. Yes or no, maybe so, or 2 words on each issue. Okay. Carnivore or Mediterranean?
Mediterranean.
What's the difference? Mediterranean has carbs.
Mediterranean is more of like a plant-based diet, which is what the people in the blue zones eat. Is mostly like a Mediterranean diet.
So I'm saying, what is the base of the diet?
Okay, so the base is getting a lot of vegetables, getting a lot of fruits. You could have animal-based like proteins if you want.
Otherwise, it's veganism.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's veganism, but you could also have fish and things like that. Yeah.
Doesn't sound very exciting. What about olive oil?
Yeah, of course.
Avocados,
Olive oils-
mangoes.
Yeah.
So everything that Mediterranean people eat.
Basically, yeah.
So no chips in McDonald's. Okay.
Yeah.
Intermittent fasting. What do you think? Life-changing or overhyped?
I think it's great. I think it's good to give your body time to rest from digesting food all the time. And I've been doing it and I really like it. I stop eating at 6 p.m. and I don't go crazy. I eat at like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. So I think it's a
Give
good
yourself
time.
a break.
Yeah.
Okay. Seed oils.
Yeah.
Avoid them. Don't use them.
Yeah, seed oils are really, really bad for you. They have a lot of omega-6, which you could have.
I
but
thought
if you,
all omegas are good.
So it is good, but if you have too much of it, it's not because it promotes inflammation. So yeah, seed oils should be avoided as much as possible.
Okay.
Definitely. And cooking is always best to do with olive oil.
Or avocado oil?
Avocado oil is also great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Raw milk. Brave or stupid?
So I don't know much about that, honestly.
Right.
Maybe we can skip that.
Okay. I think it's stupid. No, I'm just saying. The truth is, all milk is bad.
Yeah, I don't
Milk
drink
is just
milk.
not
Yeah.
good. You don't need it. Is oat milk a real food or just a scam?
Oat milk is a scam because the blood sugar spike that you get from a cup of oat milk is the same
As
from
drinking
a
a cup of
Coca-Cola.
soda? Oh.
Yeah.
And okay, so you just what should you put in your coffee? Don't drink coffee?
No, you can drink coffee. Almond milk.
Almond milk is not a scam?
It's not as bad as or soy milk. It's not as bad. It's not as bad as oat milk.
Okay, fine. Organic produce, is it worth it or just only if you could afford it?
I mean, organic is great, but I don't think people should go crazy. Like, wait, I'm gonna only buy organic. Just eat real foods. You'll be fine. Like
They say the dirty dozen. Wash like the stuff that you can't peel.
Mhm,
But
yeah.
buy organic for the stuff you can't peel.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
bananas, don't buy organic, but strawberries if you could afford it.
Yeah.
Cold plunge. It changes your life or makes you insufferable?
I'm not too big into cold plungers. I've done it a couple times.
I can't do it. I just can't.
Yeah.
But people swear by it.
Yeah, some people like it. It definitely makes you feel amazing. Like you feel great after coming out of it.
Right.
But yeah, I don't do it on a
You
daily
don't do
basis.
it.
No.
Okay. Sleep or workout? What if you have to sacrifice one, your workout or your sleep? What's more important?
So this is a great question. Ideally, you shouldn't sacrifice any of them. And those are probably the two most important things for your health, sleep and exercise. But being completely honest with you, and I'm going to say what I do, I would probably sacrifice a bit of sleep so I can get exercise because I know that the return of sleeping, let's say 8 hours or sleeping a little bit less, but getting in a run in the morning or going to the gym is going to really be a huge difference in terms of my energy level. And yeah.
Sunlight before using a screen in the morning. Not that how many of us actually don't use the screen in the morning, but there is a thing to get out in the sun first.
Yeah, no, it's beautiful. It's definitely great. It's great for your circadian rhythm. But I mean, if it's possible, it's great. If not, don't stress about it.
Okay, best health decision you ever made?
Okay, so there's two: exercising daily and not eating ultra processed foods.
Sounds easy enough. Maybe easier said than done.
Definitely.
And lastly, the worst health advice you've ever gotten. I'll tell you mine.
Okay, what is it?
It's so easy. Just stop eating.
Yeah. I recently, someone told me that I should start eating steaks every single day. That will be...
That's great advice. If you could afford it. Here in Israel, it's,
I think there's also, that's another thing. I think like Jews in general are like overly obsessed about red meat. It's like...
Well, you have to talk to Akiva about that. We did a whole episode about there. Mendel, I want to encourage everyone to go to the show notes and join the WhatsApp group and participate in 10,000 steps that can change your life. I don't think 10,000 steps is arbitrary. The number is there because it's a goal. It's a realistic goal. It's a life-changing goal.
Definitely.
And as Jews, we have to have this conversation, and I intend to have it with more of you. So feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments. How can we improve our community's level of health? How can we commit to making better choices so that our kids have good role models? How can we make sure that our friends and peers are supported in their healthy choices so that they can live long, prosperous lives where we can have, participate in each other's simchas and God forbid nothing else.
And I just wanted to add something. Recently, someone told me, like, someone from our community says, "Why are you so focused about how you look? Why is it so important?" And I told him, "I don't care how I look. I care how I feel. I'm not doing this to look good. I'm doing this so that I can be there for my family, for my community." And these decisions, they stack up. They stack up in a way where you're going to live hopefully 20 to 30 years more than you would if you wouldn't be doing them. So I think that the Frum world really needs to start taking the commandment that we have from the Torah. Literally, like our life depends on it, because it really does.
Amazing. I love that. Make sure to subscribe. Your life depends on that, to Moral Edge. Thank you for being here, Mendel.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. I'm Chanale. This is the Weekly Squeeze on Moral Edge.